want to hear from the president tomorrow night. I'm joined now by Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin. Senator, thank you so much for coming. It's great to see you. Tell me about what's on your wish list for the State of the Union. What have you been told the president is going to address, and do they come together? Do they match?
Absolutely. Well, we know that he's going to be focusing on opportunity, and I couldn't be more delighted because that's precisely what is needed in my state, where the middle class is really shrinking, and people have been working hard trying to get ahead. They're playing by the rules, and they're not getting ahead. And I think my constituency, as well as the country, is eager to hear the president embrace that again and again talk about how we assure that we have upward mobility in our country, how we have a strong and healthy middle class. And I hope he'll talk a lot about manufacturing as a piece of that, as it's a real key part of the Wisconsin economy to helping people get ahead.
And when you look at the things that didn't get accomplished last time, guns, immigration reform, and now the minimum wage is still being fought by many people in the Republican Party, what do you think can actually be accomplished now that we've had a little breakthrough in that there is a budget, there are appropriation bills? Something has actually been done in a bipartisan way.
Right. Well, let me say generally that we've got to acknowledge that this is the central challenge of the United States right now, that our economy has been so slowly recovering from our deep recession and our financial crisis, and we've got to speed that up, and we've got to focus in on good-paying jobs. And so Congress has to continue to focus on, for example, extending emergency unemployment benefits, and we're going to take another try at that, raising the minimum wage so that people who work honestly full-time can get ahead and not fall behind. And then focusing in on the building blocks of a stronger economy, and that is, as the president said over and over again, education, infrastructure, and innovation. Famously, he said a few years ago in his State of the Union address, if we want to win the future, we must out-educate, out-build, and out-innovate the rest of the world. And that is as true today as it was when he said it back then, and we have to rededicate ourselves to that effort.
And Senator, I wanted to also ask you about Jason Collins being invited to the State of the Union by Michelle Obama. What's the significance of that for the LGBT community? And obviously you were an openly gay senator and very engaged in the issue and in the recognition.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think our attention is focused on LGBT equality in so many ways. Obviously, with Congress, we've seen the Senate pass the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which is something we're calling now on the Senate, on the House to follow suit. But it's also on the global stage. If I think about the fact that Nigeria and Uganda have passed backwards-looking laws, and that Russia has passed its law on the eve of the Sochi Olympics. I think the highlighting is so incredibly important to talk about America as standing for equality.
And I want to ask you about Sochi. As a member of the Homeland Security Committee, your colleague, Senator Angus King, said that he would not feel comfortable sending his family. How safe is Sochi?
You know, we've been hearing all of the reports. The United States is cooperating as closely as possible with the Russian security authorities as they prepare for 2 weeks of Olympic Games. I keep hearing that the Olympic Village, the Olympic structure itself is really quite secure, but they're very concerned about what they're calling soft targets outside of the perimeter. And, you know, we want this to be a focus on our athletes, on competition, on that sort of hard work. And we hope, but we worry. And that's where I am right now, is certainly the increase in reported threat activity is of great concern to all of us. We want our athletes and our fans to be safe.
Senator, thank you very much. Could I also just ask you one quick question? There's a lot of talk about the way some Republican potential candidates are talking about women. The most recent was the libido comment. Do you have any advice for Republicans in the way male Republicans, in the way they talk about women?
You know, I actually want to tie my answer to that question back into growing the middle class, because if we look at the American dream in this country and a strong and healthy middle class, we saw in the post-World War II years that our middle class grew and grew and grew, and then it sort of stagnated. What really changed and added to growth again was women joining the workforce, and now in very, very significant numbers, women are a part of the workforce and have contributed greatly to allowing families to get ahead in the economy. What permits that is women being able to control when or whether they have children and how many. And it is so basic to our economic prosperity that women have that control.
Thank you, Senator. Tammy Baldwin from the Hill. Thank you very much.